Hello, hello, hello everyone. Welcome back to another video. Alright, let's see what we got for you right now. For those French postal services followers, you may love this. This is part of the history of the French postal services. What we got for you right now is a 143 scale 1962 Peugeot 403 brake, or like we call it in America, station wagon, or like they call it in other parts of the world. They call them tournier. I mean, they have different names for everywhere. But again, what we have for you is a 143 scale, part of the Postal Services, French Postal Services collection. This is the station wagon without the windows, because obviously it's for the postal services. I also have one with the windows. I'll post both of them. Now this is a Peugeot 403. As you know, it was a very successful model for Peugeot back in the 50s and 60s. They sold between 1955, I'm sorry, they sold the years between 1955 and 1966. They sold over 1 million models in between the four-door. They also had a station wagon. They had also a pickup. This is actually the van. They also had a state, which is the station wagon. And they had a convertible. For a few years, they had a convertible also. So, they were a little. This is a model they use for everything. It's quite common to see Peugeot's 403s out there. Again, it was a very successful model, so you expect them to be used in a lot of their, especially the local French, as is a French car, so it must be very popular back then over there. I love the quality of this diecast. I love the front. It gives much of the details of how the Peugeot 403 was. And I love how in this car they even made the rims, the wheels, the same color as the car itself, like in real life, like the way it was in the postal services. Except for the center cap, which it was the chrome center cap that they had back in the days. This car was built in France, obviously, their local market, their home country. Let me say it better, home country. But it was also built in Australia, in Argentina, and also in New Zealand. So it did share around the world a little bit, from Australia to South America, a little bit of everything, a little bit everywhere. They made them as a four-cylinder. Back in the day, especially in Europe, they didn't, unless you had a big car, those six cylinders were not common. And even up to today's date, they still sell six cylinders, but their main selling point is obviously the four cylinders. The European market taste always been a bit different from the American. They are more into the smaller, practical, fuel efficient cars. In America, it's the opposite. The bigger, the better. If you sell my SUV, there has to be the biggest SUV in the lot, because they want the more space, the more features. But it's the most expensive at the same time. But, everyone has different taste and it all has to be respected. It depends also. Sometimes I notice in Europe, they have little streets. And some of those big cars, like the ones they have here in America, it would barely fit through them. Some of them maybe not even fit through them, like those big SUVs, like Ford SUVs and those big Lincolns. They may not even fit properly, or you may scrape the side mirrors and stuff. So you gotta understand that they don't have In Europe, the space is more limited. So a small car, as long as it does their point A to point B, take you there, it does just fine. Alright, guys, so enough of my nonsense talking. Let it go around a few times, and I'll be right back. Alright, guys, so I'm back. You know, one thing I was reading that I would love to share with you guys until before Peugeot 403 came out, Peugeot, different models they had on sale, never made it over a million models sold. So Peugeot 403 was their first model that sold over a million cars throughout their 11-year span. That's really good. It reached a gold mark for Peugeot. Really good, really good. I'm really glad that. So it must have been a very popular car back in the days in many, many parts of the world. Alright, guys, do not forget to give me that nice thumbs up, which it truly, truly shows me you are enjoying these videos as much as I'm enjoying making them. Also, let me know in the comments what you guys think about these models. Do you remember seeing them? Especially if you're in Europe. This, I'm not sure. This is the French postal services, but in other parts of the world, do they use these models like the Peugeot 403 brake as different government companies like postal services or any other company that you may remember using them that reminds you of? Have you ever drove with Peugeot 403? Have you seen them in person? I did. I have seen them many times back in the days. And also, let me know if you're like me, we collect diecast or resin, and you enjoy seeing them. All right, and also don't forget to click and subscribe, and also the bell next to the subscribe button will remind you when I'm posting more videos. Take care of yourselves more than ever, and goodbye.